Hey there, Jonathan Golko here. Welcome back to Studio 1405. My colleague and I have an interesting program lined up for you today. We're going to take a look at how to create a lip-sync music video using ProTools audio software, green screen photography, and video editing in Adobe Premiere.
We thought we would divide up today's program and walk you guys through our process. I'm going to show you some of the techniques that we use to help one of our patrons create this lip-sync music video. I'm going to walk you through the video aspect of this music video, whereas Jonathan's going to go ahead and start on his music technique and workflow that he used to build this track.
Now this program is focused on a project we did a few months ago with an opera singer performing the theme song from a popular Chinese film. Let's dive into Pro Tools and take a look at some of the editing techniques used to prep the audio for the video. All right, this is the Pro Tools editing window. Here, this region is our instrumental track, all of the music without any of the vocals. Sounds like this. Down here, we have our vocal takes. If we go to this arrow, this is the playlist selector. Hold Control, Command, and click, and now we have a drop down for our 3 individual vocal takes. This contains all of the same musical material with little nuances in terms of articulation, dynamics, air support, and all of these different aspects of the expression we want to then composite it together or comp together a final vocal performance. So we're going to focus here at the end of the song and take a look at some of the techniques that were used to piece this together. Now, we did not do this to time code, which means we didn't have the beats per minute so that we could sync the entire track to the individual bar to bar in terms of this editing window. We had to do this by ear and piecing it together within the context of only this instrumental track. So let's take a listen to this vocal and see what we're working with. By soloing the vocal by itself, we're going to hit this S for solo to just listen to this comp lane. Here's the second one. And the third. Now, I found this little fragment here that I particularly liked because I thought the articulation was a bit stronger, a little more percussive, which has a nice effect cutting in over the orchestra. But what we notice about this particular take is that the back phrasing has this a little bit behind these other takes, so the time is going to be a little off. To continue with this example, let's take this fragment. We're going to hit the arrow and notice that it sends it straight up into our main vocal mix. But we have a problem. Because of this particular phrasing, it's not going to be in line with the rest of our vocal take. Let's listen. So we want to adjust that. We can do that. We're going to hold Option and scroll up to zoom in, and we can see that this piece of the region needs to go just a little bit further forward. So let's move that. Done. Okay, by holding Option, zooming in again, we use this multi-tool to create what becomes a crossfade. The crossfade smooths out the transition from this region to this one. These are 2 different clips, and when this is missing a crossfade, we can lead to other kind of artifacts and sounds such as pops. So we get rid of that by smoothing it out with a crossfade. Let's adjust this forward a touch and add another one here. Let's listen to this within the context of the song. Nice. Now let's move on to the next thing. We're going to look at gain adjustment. This is volume adjustment. Let's listen to just our vocal again. And we're going to just pay attention to the individual clips and listen for their volumes to make sure they're smoothed out. I'm going to get rid of these other clips because we don't need to look at them right now. Control, Command, click. All right, let's listen to just our vocal. And as we're going through it, I'm going to make little gain adjustments so that the volumes all sit a little bit more even. Now, I noticed here we have a breath. We want to reduce that a little bit. Hold and click, Command E. We get a nice cut there, and now we can adjust the gain on this one section. So by lowering that breath, we'll be able to hide it a little bit in the mix. We could completely cut it out, but that does have a little bit of an unnatural tonality to it. We want to keep the breath so that it sounds human. Let's listen to it in context with just the vocal and then the track. Now here we notice that the note cuts off just a touch before the rest of the orchestra. There's a few ways to fix this, and let's take a look at just one of them now. Now we have these other takes, and we do see that they make it to the end of that orchestra cut. However, I happen to like the vibrato and power of this clip, so I want to use this as our vocal, but just have it cut off with the orchestra. So if we go here to the audio suite, pitch shift and time shift, this allows us to add an effect to only this one clip, only this piece of the region. So I tested this out earlier and I found that 96% was a nice number that gives us just a few milliseconds more on this note. It's going to stretch the entire time of the clip without distorting too much of its tonal quality. If we do too much, it'll make a difference and you'll catch that. But at this small amount, it's going to be just enough. We'll hit render. We see that it cuts a little bit there. Here we go. Man, powerful stuff. Well, we're finished here. Let's take it back into the studio and see what Rosh has got lined up with that green screen. Mask up.